When was the last time you watched a movie that stayed with you long after you left the theater? That lingered with you through the barrage of social media, through the vagaries of everyday life? This week's release is that kind of a movie. Hello and welcome to Film Companion South. You're watching NotATollyReview. My name is Hriday Ranjan. This week's release is Sapta Sagaralu Dhaati, Side A. The film is directed by Hemanth M, who also shares the writing credits with writer Gautam Shetty. The film stars Rakshit Shetty and Rukmini Vasanth. Sapta Sagaralu Dhaati Side A is the latest of the wildly original films that seem to be coming out of the Kannada industry. If KGF was all about bombastic action set pieces and Kantara was about electrifying visuals, then this movie is rooted in a kind of poetic realism. This movie has this rare immersive quality that it keeps drawing you in slowly. Director Hemanth M achieves this with his fantastic crew of cinematographer, music director and sound designer. Cinematographer Advaita Gurumurthy's frames are they are gritty yet beautiful. The cinematography actually feels like such an integral part of the storytelling process as much as the writing and directing. Like for example, when the lovers are meeting in a rushed manner, they're always surrounded by clocks and shadows and fences. Then there is this fantastic use of colors, like the blues of the oceans, the moss, the brown, the black of the jail, which suddenly erupt into the myriad colors of a power loom when Manu, the central character, begins to see some hope in life. The cinematography is just masterful. Then there is the otherworldly soundtrack and music by Hemanth's longtime collaborator Charan Raj. The visuals and music of this movie seem to be just fused with each other somehow. Charan Raj's songs and background score are reminiscent of a young wild Amit Trivedi or a Joe Hisashi. His soundtrack is the throbbing life force of the movie, and if you couldn't have enough of this audiovisual delight, the film's superlative sound design elevates the film to a next level. The sound design cuts through soundscapes fantastically, from ambient sounds to dramatic overtures. A beautiful rock ballad transitions without warning into the static feedback of a loudspeaker. A romantic song is cut along with the hustle bustle, the noise of Bengaluru metro. When the leads are looking for each other, you get this racing clock ticking, and when they finally are in front of each other, you hear heavy breathing that is slow, and the ticking begins to slow down, only to be cut off, and suddenly the noise and chaos cuts in because their time is limited. Arun S. Mani and P.S. Vishnu along with their sound design team create a sound design that would make Nolan smile. Then there is the writing itself by Hemanth M and Gautam Shetty. The film is based in 2010 and you find remnants of that time. You get those doctor t-shirts, you get the Renault 045 fine Carber pens, you get early smartphones but also wired earphones that go into those 3.5mm jacks. This realism extends to even the writing. As middle-class lovers in Bengaluru, the leads don't have the luxury of meeting in isolated places with privacy. They meet in local buses, in railway stations, and always with a fence in between them, like through meshes and railings. Director Hemanth M is not interested in painting with broad brush strokes. The characters don't sit firmly in categories like good or bad. Nobody in the movie is what they seemed in the beginning of the movie. For a film where the leads are not even together for most of the runtime, it is easy to slip into the trap of melancholic flashbacks. But Hemanth M, who won the National Award for his screenplay for Andhadhun, expertly weaves a screenplay that makes you feel for the leads, to root for them. For this girl who is obstinate about what she wants, and for this guy who keeps quoting generic motivational lines but is too blind to see reality squatting in front of him. As a lower middle class driver, actor Rakshit Shetty has this underconfident hunch to his gait. It is not the confident Rakshit Shetty you watch in rom-coms. And then there is the female lead, played delicately by Rukmini Vasanth. She wins your heart and then she crushes it to pieces. She holds back and she holds back and she holds back, and so when she finally bursts, you burst along with her. Director Hemanth M extracts tender performances from his leads but also from the surrounding cast in the movie. Since the director and the writers write every character with respect and depth, it gives the actors so much more to play with. which is why they all seem so real. The film is a delightful mix of restraint and indulgence. It has that mad indie feel of a first movie, the kind of madness we saw in Anurag Kashyap's Devdi, or maybe to some extent Sandeep Reddy Vanga's Arjun Reddy, that mix of skilled craft and an obstinate independent streak in aesthetics. It feels like Kannada cinema is seriously going through a resurgence of its own without fan wars and the burden of catering to fan expectations. These young filmmakers are experimenting and creating their own grammar. Sapta Sagaralu Dhaati side A deals with themes of holding on and letting go, and how much of life's struggles are caught between these two. We are told to hold on to things that we love and to let go of things that trouble us. But perhaps there is nobility in letting go, and perhaps holding on can also be an act of cruelty. I absolutely loved Sapta Sagaralu Dhaati side A, having watched it both in Kannada and in Telugu. Catch the film in theatres and then, if I may say so, listen to the soundtrack once you get home. Thank you so much for watching our review of the movie. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to Film Companion South on YouTube and drink lots of water. Thank you.